37.
And what is your current occupation?
I'm currently employed as a patrol officer by the Hidden Valley Police Department.
How long have you been on the force?
I've been on the force for about 12 years now.
And what experience have you received in the last 12 years?
I have become extensively experienced in hit and runs and traffic collisions.
Now, were you on patrol the night of April 19th?
Yes, I was.
And did anything significant happen on this night?
My partner and I responded to a traffic call on the intersection of Skyline and Grand.
And when you responded to this, did you survey the scene?
Yes, I did.
Your Honor, may the witness please approach Exhibit A?
Yes.
Officer Wright, do you recognize this exhibit?
Yes, I do.
And what is it of?
This is an exhibit of where the hit and run occurred.
Is this a fair and accurate representation?
Yes.
How do you know this?
I surveyed the scene while I was there.
Can you point out exactly what you saw when you arrived at the scene?
When I arrived at the scene, there were people all over. Miss Douglas's body was being loaded onto an ambulance.
And do you know where the crash took place?
It took right there.
Your Honor, may the witness please be seated?
Yes.
After you surveyed the scene, what did you do?
I proceeded to interview witnesses.
And who did you interview?
I interviewed Dallas DeCamp and Quinn Liu.
Did Miss Liu give you any valuable information?
Miss Liu was able to give me a partial license plate as well as an identification of the driver's clothing.
And after this, with this information, what did you do?
I sent the information to dispatch and was able to find a match with the license plate.
And what car did it match?
It matched the car, a black Bueller that belonged to the Vega family.
Did you ever go to the Vega household?
Yes, I did.
And what did you find when you arrived?
There was a black Bueller parked in the driveway which matched Dallas DeCamp's description.
Were you able to investigate the Bueller?
Yes, I did.
What did you find?
The partial license plate matched the one that Miss Liu had given me, and there were turquoise scratches which matched Miss DeCamp's on the front left bumper.
You were able to indicate anything else from this vehicle?
After touching the hood, it was warm, indicating that it had recently been driven.
And after you investigated the vehicle, what did you do?
I proceeded to knock on the door.
Did anyone answer?
There was no answer.
Did anything significant happen after this?
Miss DeLuca came out from the side of the house.
Do you remember what Miss DeLuca was wearing this night?
Miss DeLuca was wearing a light blue Hidden Valley t-shirt.
And did you question Miss DeLuca?
Yes, I did.
Now, after you questioned Miss DeLuca, what happened?
I was then approached by Miss Vega.
Do you know where Miss Vega had previously been that night?
According to Miss Vega, she had been on a walk and had lost her keys.
Objection, Your Honor, hearsay.
Would you like to respond?
Yes, Your Honor, this is not hearsay because it's admission against party opponent.
Mr. Agarwal?
I have no further response, Your Honor.
All right. Objection to the rule?
Okay. And now, Officer Wright, do you know what Miss Vega had done previously that night?
According to Miss Vega, she had attended a championship swim meet and had driven home with Miss DeLuca.
Did anything significant happen during your course of questioning her?
Well, she appeared quite cold, so I offered for her to sit in the back of my patrol car.
And how did she appear when she was in the back of your patrol car?
She began to appear quite nervous, answering my questions with simple shrugs and one-word answers.
And did you ever tell Miss Vega why you were there that night?
Yes, I did.
And how did she respond?
Oh, it was a bicyclist. I'm so sorry, I could never forgive myself.
Objection, Your Honor, hearsay.
This is not hearsay, Your Honor, because it's admission against party opponent.
Your Honor, may be heard.
Yes.
Your Honor, this is hearsay because it is being offered to prove that my client was in fact driving the car.
Perhaps I understand the confusion. I think what Ms. Mahaffey is saying is that it is hearsay, but it falls underneath a relevant exception to that being admission against party opponent.
Yes.
So she's conceding that it is hearsay. She's just saying it's allowable hearsay. Do you have a response to that?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Objections overruled?
And after Miss Vega told you this, what did you do?
I proceeded to arrest Miss Vega.
Miss Officer Wright, were you able to ever investigate the inside of the car?
Yes, I was able to.
And what did you find?
Under the driver's seat, I was able to locate the business card of the University of Los Angeles' swimming scout, as well as Miss Vega's cell phone.
Were you able to retrieve anything from the cell phone?
Unfortunately, I was not able to.
And why not?
Due to a technical glitch, no messages or numbers could be retrieved from the phone.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Rob.
Your Honor, may I proceed?
Yeah.
Officer Wright, you questioned Quinley the night of accident, correct?
This is correct?
And she gave you a partial license plate number of the car that hit the bicyclist?
Yes, that's true.
So she could only partially see what was going on with the car that night.
Well, she wouldn't be able to write down the entire license plate.
And she also told you she saw the driver that night?
She was able to give a clothing description, yes.
Yeah, she said she was wearing a white t-shirt
Yes.
and a cardinal gold baseball cap?
Yes.
Your Honor, may I approach Exhibit A?
Yes, as long as you steer clear of the windows.
Officer, the car was driving north down Skyline Drive, correct?
That is correct?
And Quinley was standing here on his front steps?
Yes.
So as the car passed Quinley, the passenger side was closest to Quinley, correct?
That would be correct.
So the person Quinley saw may have been the passenger, is that correct, officer?
Well, she did say it was the driver.
Objection, Your Honor. Speculation.
Sustained.
And motion to strike.
Yes, her answer will be straight.
Thank you.
Now, Officer, Quinley said that there was one person in the car that night, correct?
I'm not certain.
But we all know there's in fact two people in the car that night, correct, officer?
Yes.
Now, you also questioned Tony DeLuca the night of the accident?
Yes.
And she told you she was in the car that hit the bicyclist that night?
Yes, Miss DeLuca did say that.
But you just let her go.
Well, she did inform me that Adrian was the one who was driving.
Objection, Your Honor. Argumentative.
I see your point. There was not actually a question there, so sustained.
Thank you. And motion to strike.
It will be straight.
Thank you.
Officer, you also talked to Aubrey Fox a few days later, correct?
That is correct.
And she told you she saw Tony and Adrian leaving school the night of the accident?
She never said that she saw them leave. Exactly.
And before they left that night, Tony was standing by the driver's side door. Is that what she told you, officer?
Objection, Your Honor. Hearsay.
Your Honor, may I be heard?
Yeah.
Your Honor, this is not being offered to prove the truth of the matter. It is simply being offered to prove the subsequent actions of the officer, to consider him as a suspect, her as a suspect.
Okay, I'm going to overrule the objection, but I will only give that statement as much weight as a non-statement can have.
Thank you.
Officer, you also questioned my client Cameron Douglas in that accident, correct?
Yes.
And she told you that Tony was the one that drove them home that night?
Miss Vega did tell me.